Welcome guys, Brandon here from Terminated Gaming. Once again, we're back on World of Warships with another replay. This time in the Tier 9 USS Missouri. I don't know if we've featured the USS Missouri before on the channel. No, we've used the USS Iowa, USS Georgia, were two popular ones. And of course, as always, I will plug ruthlessly all my other content. So I had a game in the USS Iowa, 313,000 damage. It's the first game in the playlist of replays that you can find in the top right of your screen in the cards or at the end of this video. I recommend waiting until the end of the video and click on it from there, because this is also a pretty entertaining game. Anyways, Tier 9 USS Missouri. Missouri's a pretty old ship, been around for a while, been away from sale for a while as well. Many people really try to get this ship for collector purposes. One of the few, if not the only battleship with radar, 9.5 kilometer radar. Missouri also, I still believe, has the best economy in the game, so it's great. This match is from a while ago. It's from like early March, and I'm playing it with one of my clanmates, 90. 90 actually streams over on Twitch. If I remember to, I'll plug his Twitch stream down below. You can catch me playing with him quite a bit, generally later at night, Eastern time. And it's random. I don't think he has a concurrent schedule, but he's in his Tier 9 Palmer, and I am, of course, in the Missouri. This is a comfortably good match for these ships. There's some Tier 7s. There's not very many Tier 8s at all, actually. I think the only Tier 8 is the carriers per team. So, it's terrible for these other ships. And yes, that her salvo was HE. And so 90 and I have decided to kind of go over and onto this flank. The other parts of this match are not anything spectacular from my perspective, and I kind of wish I had 90's replay to kind of go over on top of ours, because 90 had a really good start, whereas I had a really good ending to this match. So first real actual salvo, the AP salvo really, or the HE salvo didn't really count. 18k off of that Alaska. Aimed a little high, hit into the superstructure. Thankfully, we got full pens against that. Compared to, I was trying to aim more for the bow, but he was turning, so we got bailed out anyways. 90 has an AP salvo out. He was firing HE out of the 15-inch German guns there for a while. He gets a decent chunk off that Alaska. And here, I'm going to try to get some shells around that corner onto that Alaska to see if my aiming was anywhere near good. 2 overpens, and I'm with the amount of ships over here. Granted, there are not very many high tier ships besides that FDG on the flank. I'm trying to get so that way I can angle against most of these targets, because Iowa, Missouri's armor are not they're strong against slower ships, but you don't really want to test that all the time. And there are rumors that there is going to be either the USS Wisconsin or the USS New Jersey might be added, since they took away the first hull upgrade for the Iowa. So the A hull or the B hull might become another premium Iowa that we might see in the game. So here is where that I've really decided, hey, this FTG on our flank is going to be the biggest pain in our butt. He's just going to be... this is where the stealth of the American ships really comes into handy. Yes, I did take that shot blind against the FDG, and I'm also going to pull a Notzer here and run aground. We did get 11k off with a blind hit against him with 5 hits, so that was pretty nice. Yep, so here's the Notzer landing. Not a happy landing, as Obi-Wan Kenobi would say. I'll use this time too here. As I said, these are not going to be anything spectacular shots here. I'm going to take another one against that FTG and just aim. Well, maybe not. I think I'm going to get off the island first and then take a shot. I'm going to plug another content that you can check out on the channel, which is called New Line. It's a new series I created, and it is basically upcoming changes that I propose World of Warships to do. They go in no specific order of when or what line should come first. For example, the first episode is of US battleships. There's almost a 20k hit off that FTG, so putting us at 55,000 damage. So, not a terrible hit. Anyways, that New Line series is proposed changes, additions to existing tech trees, and stuff that I'd like to see added into the game. So the first one's U.S. battleships. The second episode's already out as well, which is U.S. battle cruisers. I encourage you guys to go check those out. If you have any disagreements with me, put them in the comments down below. You can dislike the video, but I'd like to hear your guys' feedback as well, more than just the dislikes, because sometimes that makes it seem like you maybe just don't like the content. The first episode went really well. The second episode a little bit worse. So maybe it was just that episode people didn't like. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments down below, in this video, that video, whichever. We took a shot at the Algeria earlier there for about 6k damage. It wasn't anything spectacular, and we're gonna see if we can finish off that Alaska out there. This is where my accuracy is starting to suffer. That Alaska throttle jukes me here pretty hard. Normally there I would have tried to have bracketed those shells a little bit along that same line of him, full speed slower and then slower, but I kind of rushed it, trying to get him dead. Here we have this Strasbourg. He's pushing up against, I believe, 90, who retreated because 90 took a big licking of damage up there. We get 11k off him. It wasn't anything spectacular. 6 hits out of 9. I think at this point in the game, I was telling 90, it's like I'm getting almost like I think all the front turrets are hitting and the rear turret's always missing. At this, it's what it's felt like. But I've saved enough health here so I could push up a little bit here. And this Strasbourg is just eating it, and he's gonna be dead. I think before my I don't even know why I shouldn't have even fired there. I should have held that, because there was no reason to fire against him when he was that low. I don't think he had a damage count up, nothing, so that was a wasted salvo. So now it's time to get Missouri back up and going. Thing with the U.S. battleships like Missouri, Iowa, and North Carolina to a degree, not so much Montana, I wouldn't say. They're pretty maneuverable, pretty quick. Once they get up to full speed, 33 knots top speed. But they take a little bit of a hot minute to get up to those speeds. I put shots on the Algeria, ineffective because of my poor aim on that part. That one was all down to me. I aimed that super badly. Super poorly. Alaska's back in. He's still trying to shoot. He's shooting AP. If I'm not careful here, that could do a lot. Put shots on him. I'm staying bow in as if the Algeria has launched his 9-kilometer torps, and I mean I will close in on those pretty quick, so I got to be careful. And there you see is. Then I turn to try to dodge the incoming fire from the FDG there. I popped my radar here for some reason. I think I accidentally fat fingered it. If I remember correctly, I just hit Y instead of T because I wanted the heal. Now I'm just bringing my guns to bear on the target that I can do without exposing myself to the other ones. So that was the FDG. Only taking about 7,600 off. There wasn't enough angle to a superstructure to get more pen damage there. I got 1 pen and 4 over pens against there. Granted, I think that that would work. That math works out. So now I'm with the FDG firmly kind of focused on I believe 90, or even like our Seattle. I am now free to kind of engage this Alaska and Algeria. Main thing here is trying to predict that turn correctly, and I also did that poorly. Dispersion allowed me to get one of them, so. And now I swing completely around to get that rear turret, which is dangerous because there's the FTG, there's the Alaska. Ooh, there goes about 14,000 health just immediately, as the FTG is now focused on us after, I think, taking out our Seattle in one shot. So now the Alaska is close enough where I just got to get good shell placements, and I almost messed that one up too. And at this point, I'm just gonna let this Algeria in front of me be fine, as I'm gonna angle to try to deal with the FTG more, because he's the one that's gonna do the most damage to me right here, because I have the Alaska corpse to block torpedoes potentially. 90 thankfully takes out the FTG real quick there. We're up to 98,000 damage, 1 kill. We've also tanked 1.5 million almost at this point. Granted, we've lost a lot of health here too. Algeria switches over to AP against me. I don't know if that's a good choice from the Algeria to be in 2 tiers lower. We did take 7k off. Shell dispersion there. I think that shot was a little bit better, but of course shell dispersion. And I'm feeling a little bit more ballsy here against the Algeria, so I'm giving him a little bit more of an angle. As you can see, he's shooting it more into the superstructure there with that AP. He's doing a decent amount of damage with each one, and they're able to get out of the way of those torpedoes and Citadel to kill him. So 122,000 damage, 2 kills at this point. 90s, I believe at this point he was at 150,000, and he's at 3 kills. Cleaned up this flank, but we're down on caps. We only have 1 to their 2. We control the middle one, but we should be able to get A here. And we are up comfortably on points, as we've throttled the enemy team at this point in the game. Shots out on that Strasbourg. We get enough of them to land to kill that. So now we're up to 130,000 damage, 3 kills. I remember earlier when we were at about 36,000 damage, 90 pointed out that he was at 100,000, and he was also, I think he had a kill at that point, and we didn't. So I was like, oh, so I gotta get my butt moving into gear, and here we are at up to the 130,000 damage mark with plenty of targets. There's still four targets to shoot at. And they've comfortably pushed our team away from the other side. At that point now, our last remaining ships, besides the Lexington, is the furthest thing to the east of the map, whereas we're all on the western side of the map. So I hop in here and try to get this cap with 90, and the Helena, I believe, also are in here as well. The enemy Kronstadt has turned, and the enemy team at this point could still win. It's unlikely, but they could. The Minnesota, they have all tier 9s and then their Graf Zeppelin. We have 3 tier 9s, one of which has good health. The other 2 are, where me and 90 are about half health. And then we have a California, the full health Brindisi, and a Helena. Brindisi is not going to be a really tank. He's also the one closest to the Kronstadt right now. Shots out on the Kronstadt. 26,000 damage off of him. He, of course, is running Kuznetsov for Will to Victory, but with 3,000 health and healing barely anything, 90 was able to finish him off there in the Palmer and putting him up to 4 kills and us up to 3 still. So at this point, it's going to be me and 90 battling for a Kraken against the 3 remaining enemy ships. Technically, we both could get Krakens here. There's still 3 kills left on the board, and I need 2 and he needs 1, so as long as nobody else on our team kills anything. With the Graf Zeppelin being spotted here, I'm switching my guns around because I couldn't shoot them as Minnesota in the position he was in. The main thing is trying to guess the speed and hope those shells don't hit the deck, is the main thing. Because if those shells hit the deck, I'm probably not going to pen. The shell dispersions are a little bit screwy there. We get 2 overpens. As 90 and I have affectionately started calling it, that one shell that always is like way out there on your dispersion, that's Timmy. So you're always going to have a Timmy, it seems like, no matter what ship you're using. There's at least 1 Timmy per salvo. Sometimes his family decides to go on vacation with him. Here I'm still trying to swing my turrets around to maybe shoot the Graf Zeppelin. I'm pretty sure I won't kill him, ever. It would take a decent hit to kill him. And at that range, I don't expect to hit very many shells. But then this dispersion looks pretty good here. The shell placement probably needed to be better. Yep. Well, he also turned. He was turning outward. So that shell placement was not great on my part. So now I'm pushing forward this back towards the south because the Rune and the Minnesota are both down here. The Rune just took out our California. This is basically making it so that Minnesota, his easiest turn is to turn to his left. But if he can't do that, because I'm here, that works in my favor. So I take 20k off of him for the Confederate medal. Leave him low enough where it's like, hey, 90, that's easy kill for you if you can get it. 90's really low on health, so he's being primarily focused down. I'm about half health. We've lost both the Helena and the California, but we still have our Brindisi. I'm going to end up probably getting this Minnesota right here. That's what I tell 90 to. It's like, hey, I'm probably going to get this guy on that corner. And I do. Didn't take much. He's on 3,000 health. Main thing was to try to avoid his incoming fire. Didn't do that too well. 1,400 off, or 14,000 off. I still have 2 heals They won't do very much because I've taken more damage than I probably should have. More damage saturation in certain places than others. This Rune is doing a pretty decent job. He's going to be fluctuating in and out of turn, and it's going to mess with me a little bit. So I predicted him to take a little bit wider turn. We get 10k off of the back. If I aimed a little bit more forward, that guy might have been dead. And then we got our high caliber medal off of that as well. At this point, I don't believe we will lose unless we lose both me and 90 to this Rune. But the Rune is getting unlucky with his shells, so... With the Lexington coming in, the Rune is finally taking a hard turn. So this is where my failure to predict that hard turn, because he didn't turn the first time, it really cost me on that where I could have got the Kraken. 90 also does not kill him there. He is healing though, so I have to land a decent amount of shots in order to kill him. I predict his turn a little bit, hoping that it's going to be, but I think I led those two short, like they're going to fall short. And we get 4 hits, left him on 1400 health. 203,669 damage. 4 kills. You could hear 90 shells off there in the distance. I'm going to reload and fire anyways, I believe, here. Nope, I held. And 90 gets his Kraken Unleash. So as you can see in the chat there for a second, it's I got my Confederate, 90 got his Confederate, I got a high caliber Kraken, and then 90 got his Kraken. 9 kills between us, 203,669 damage. The only ship left on the enemy team is the Graf Zeppelin. The Brindisi's close to him, so it is up to the Brindisi at this point if that Graf Zeppelin's going to die. But we are slowly but surely might take C before then. And with 40 seconds left in the battle, this game is all but over. And so we will take a look at the post-battle results here of this battle. 203,000 damage, 4 kills, Confederate high caliber, and Dreadnought, actually, for that battle for us. Pretty decent game. Not anything too spectacular, but we came top of the team, 2,400 base XP. 90 came second on the team with 2,000 base XP because of his Kraken and Confederate. 5 kills for him. And I believe 186,000 damage. There's our damage breakdown. Pretty decent amount of hits. 76 hits. We fired 213 shells. And potential damage of 1.8 million. And then XP. We actually made 1.4 million credit profit off that match without running really any flags. So, hope you guys have enjoyed. If so, a rating would be much appreciated. And I'll catch you guys most definitely on the next one. Peace out.
Shut up and sit down.